Lakers-fandom. Hello, hello. We're getting, let me see. I don't know if I got the chat, so I'm gonna add it right here. Let me see if it's there. I don't see it. All right, I got the chat. I got everything. We're gonna talk about everything that is going on with the Lakers, trade rumors. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff right now. Um, I'm one of the guys that have said that Westbrook is not. It's not a good idea because it's not the fit the Lakers need. Except that there are two things that could actually make this, uh, a better setup for that. And maybe this is what the Lakers are planning. But before I talk about Westbrook, I want to talk about the Lakers interviews and possible draft picks. Because I'm not going to assume that the Lakers are going to negotiate the draft picks because we don't know. We don't know yet exactly what the Lakers are going to do or offer until everything is done. We imagine that the draft picks, the 22nd draft pick, is really an asset to do trade, but because of recent developments, we might not even need that. And so, let's talk about the draft. I don't think the Lakers are planning to just get a player from the 22nd pick. I'm actually wouldn't be surprised if they trade that for a few picks on the later on the second part of the draft. And this is the thing. This is why I'm thinking about that. Some of the guys they are interviewing, maybe late draft picks, and or they might not even get drafted. We know that if the Lakers were to pick up somebody on the 22nd, probably it would be Duarte, because Duarte can he's got what you guys don't understand about Chris Duarte is that Chris Duarte is not just a college player. He have played in leagues aside from college. This kid knows how to play basketball. So, maybe the Lakers will get him, right? There's another thing. Right now, there is a negotiation between between the Lakers and the Kings, and this might be, well, I'm saying right now, right now it's really late for some people to work, and deals are not done on paper and at these hours at night, but they could be talking right now. We know Rob Pelinka is a hard worker, and he has he's a negotiator, definitely. So it is something that we need to look at it as a whole. And so right now, the negotiation to acquire Buddy Hield is, I don't know why I keep saying Buddy Hield when it's Hield, but that negotiation is on the way, and it could be Kuzma and Montrez in a sign and trade. If that happens, we still have in the bargaining chip, we can still use Schroeder and KCP to get Westbrook. Now, I don't think the Lakers, if they get an offer that they can really get real profit of it, he might sacrifice, having to part ways with THT. But this is the thing about THT. He could be a really, really good talent for really cheap right now. And the way now he's a restricted free agent, the Lakers can keep him as a cheap possible, good player for the future, or decide to use it as a bargaining chip for any other trade. Now, we gotta understand that if we have veterans in this team, some of them are going, like LeBron is probably gonna retire before Anthony Davis, and in order to get the next contract to Davis, probably on his way, but after a little bit after his prime, though that I'm eating blueberries. Unless something changes. You need to have a team that supports. And if all the stars are older than Anthony Davis, and THT at worst would be a good rotation player, at best he could be an all-star, maybe somebody really big in this game. He reminds me of Charles Barkley a lot. And Charles Barkley is one of the best players the NBA have ever had. And I saw him play. And he was amazing. He was amazing. He had a good shot from mid-range, from even from outside. He would do it. He had a fadeaway, and Charles Barkley had a bag of tricks that were really good, and he actually had this rivalry that you see, like friendly rivalry that you see between Charles and Shaquille, was part of a actual rivalry they had on the court. And they were probably the two strongest guys in the NBA in that time. So that was pretty much the rivalry. And so if you look at the draft, if you look at the picks in the draft, you're going to see something that is common. It's different positions, but all of them are near or over 40% from three-point shooting. So I am thinking that the Lakers might get a lot of small contracts, and you let me know if I'm reading wrong the negotiations of the NBA. By the way, is the chat working? Let me see. Okay. Saying hello from my from Twitter. So interesting. Now, so what can we get from that? One of my negative view of getting either DeMar DeRozan or getting Russell Westbrook, was that the thing that we've been hearing and talking, saying, everybody has kind of agreed in one way or another, is that we need a shooter, right? That's why people were excited about getting Bradley Beal if we could, about which was, I knew it wasn't that, it wasn't the thing, and even about getting Kyle Lowry. And a lot of people say, we should have gotten Lowry. And look, there's a reason we didn't get. Like, why is THT that stop? That it's because he's the only real young player, younger than probably 25. So you want to have an aging Lakers team? Granted, I mean, LeBron James is still scoring over 20 points per game. You know, at this age, Kareem wasn't scoring 20 points per. He had 1 or 2 games that he would score over 30, but at age 36, Kareem, who took good care of his body, and he still, I think, he is still on that mindset. Was scoring less. And I'm not saying that, you know, it's hard when you try to say, so LeBron is better than Kareem. Well, Kareem was a center in an era where the 3-point shot was the last resort, and every team had that one sharpshooter. And you know, Kareem wasn't that guy, but actually he scored a few 3-pointers in games where, you know, first it was Kareem, and how can you deny him anything? And second, it were games where that was the cherry on top, the same way that Dwight scored a few 3-point shots, and you know, when he was in the, you know, last championship Lakers team. So that's, you know, that's that about, you know, the whole thing of me not being that much swayed by the idea that Westbrook would fit with the Lakers, with what the Lakers wanted to do. Now, I wanted to check out some video of Fizdale, how he sets his offense, or how he used to set his offense in New York, and you know, throughout his. He does something interesting. It's called delayed set offense. He used a lot of horn sets, and he does use the roller in a kind of like in a sweeping screen. So what happened is that the screen doesn't get there to the point where the screener gets the position. The screener goes back into rolling right away. But what happens is, because the defense have to react to that, usually the roller and the playmaker, the point guard in this case, can go deep in really deep into the paint. And so when you have a guy like Westbrook running that, you're going to have him scoring like 30 points for sure. For sure. Especially because the guy who stays on the post area could be LeBron. Or it could be run with LeBron as the playmaker and Westbrook in the post, and in both plays Anthony Davis will be the roller. And the thing is, both LeBron and Westbrook can get deep in the paint. They are probably gonna score, you know, almost 100 of 100. You know, it's if the screener is running with them, as he's rolling, and it's Anthony Davis, how can you guard that? You don't know. You have three guys who are way more than capable to run that play and score the basket that will drive the defense crazy. And if that like to put a cherry on the top, you can have a shooter, outside, or two shooters outside that are capable 40% shooting. So if you can get Kuzma and Buddy Hield and nothing else, Kuzma and Montrez and nothing else for Buddy Hield, then you can package maybe KCP with a sign and trade with Schroeder. Maybe you could get something without getting THT out. Now, they could still put THT in the mix, and because they are gonna get a lot of young guys probably in draft night after the draft, you have to consider that they might have a young team of guys who can shoot threes, and then you can just incorporate playmakers to that roster if Westbrook decides to retire or something like that. Now, we got to talk about this. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, they want to reunite in LA. So it could be even cheaper, because DeMar DeRozan is available to take a pay cut for that to happen. The thing that I don't know is Kyle Lowry. Now, imagine if that could be possible. Then the Lakers they would have to free cap space some other way. So that to me is going to be maybe, I don't know if you can do it through picks. So if anybody wants to comment on that, I would greatly appreciate it, because I'm not the know-it-all. I have my doubts about how the contracts work in the NBA, but definitely is something that I would love to know what is going on, and I don't know, have those things there. So let me recap. We talk about the draft. We talk about the draft, that a lot of these draft players are close to or over 40% from three-point land, and they are playing different positions. So these interviews might be more important than what we think they are. I don't think they will negotiate the pick and Taylor Horton Tucker in the same deal, because I would think that, like, if you have guys who match the salary and as a cherry on top You put the pick, you leave Taylor Horton Tucker in the team. If you put Taylor Horton Tucker, then you should stay with the pick and get Duarte. There's another guy that I would like them to get, but I can't remember the name right now. So it's all if we can get Duarte. There's a few other guys. This is a deep draft, and that's the interesting thing, that the Lakers can pick people with enough quality, NBA quality, still late in the draft. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you are not right now watching this live, I would recommend that you look at Fitzgerald's offense with New York. It didn't work in New York because the people didn't just make the shots, and because, like, for example, I forgot his name, but the point guard of New York kept trying to make plays before the defense come out and guard him. So he passed the ball to the roller in a situation when he could have taken it to the rim and make the 2 points himself. So he forced the roller to try to make those points in traffic, which, it was not a bad decision from the coach, unless in training he didn't realize he was doing that. But it was a bad decision from the point guard. Okay, I got Derrick Rose for trading Derrick Rose for Shooter, right? Is that the question? I don't see this. I had to get really close to see. I might have to change the colors and the color scheme on the chat, but all right. Bull, she's toe. All right. Derrick Rose could have the same effect, and it could be cheaper, I think. Yeah, it could be. Well, I mean, would the Knicks be interested in sign and trade No, I wasn't talking about Derrick Rose. I was talking that the way the Fizdale developed his play with a sweeping, when he used the Horns play, the Horns set, he did a lot of having the roller go on the top to make the screen, but before he can set the screen, he would sweep back as a roller, and he would push all the defense back. And what I'm saying is, this is before Derrick Rose. If it would have been Derrick Rose, probably they would have played it better, because Derrick Rose can take it to the rim. But but it wasn't what was happening. The point guard, I can't remember, was passing the ball way before the defense would come out. And that's why, Fizdale is not a bad coach. I don't know if it's because he didn't have enough time. The only way he could be considered a bad coach is that this happened in the scrimmage and he didn't realize. If that happened in the scrimmage and he didn't realize, then saludos. That would have been his mistake, right? But I think a lot of what happened to Fizdale there is he's a developer coach, and he didn't have enough time, to me, to set the team, the New York Knicks, the way he wanted to set them. And the Lakers and the Knicks try to create teams on a win now basis. Why it hasn't worked with the Knicks? The owner doesn't help. The owner of the Knicks, he doesn't like his own people, and that's a problem. That's a problem. When people are telling you to sell, to sell the team. The fans are telling you to sell the team. That's a problem. I don't know if he's still the owner. I don't know. Forgot his name. But if you have a bad front office, that's not gonna work. You're always gonna look like a team that could make it. But you won't. Now, I think the Knicks are going in the right direction. Slower, but they are getting to a point where they are becoming a team where people are taking notice. This team could, do something. Now, but the Lakers have talked about that, about trading Schroeder for Derrick Rose. I don't know what the Lakers are going to do with Schroeder. This is a word of caution about if you're going to manage a team. You got to know why your players are not playing well. And Schroeder was thrown into a game just right after he was out of the COVID protocol. And I know people have gotten COVID, and they still are dealing with the repercussions a month later. So Dennis Schroeder might be getting a bad rap for something he can't control. He didn't score in that fifth game, I think it was, but he just had COVID. And this is the other thing that Lakers fans, we need to understand. Like, if our stars are injured, usually our team is going to lose games. And that Phoenix Suns team were really good. So we got to accept that the Suns were really good, but we also got to accept that when the Lakers were healthy, the Suns didn't look like they were going anywhere into the playoffs, like further in the playoffs. So we gotta recognize those two things. There was, and the health issue is not because Anthony Davis is a weak person. Anthony Davis had 71 days to recover from a grueling championship season. And if you play basketball, you know how hard would be playing 82 games. And even when the season got caught, you have to go back after 3 months or 2 months back into a play-in situation where you are not doing the play-in because you already qualified, so you are not in desperation mode, and you have to recreate the chemistry, and that happened in record time to me, and that says a lot about the previous roster. And so I wasn't a fan, to tell you the truth, that of dissolving that team to get a more offensive team, because it didn't work as an offensive team. There were clear chemistry issues, because you see, both of the last two Laker teams have been rebuilds, right? But the difference is that with the championship team, where Dwight Howard was there, and most of these guys went to Las Vegas and play with each other, hang out with each other, and so they develop a connection not only on the court but off court. So when the time to play came, their chemistry was amazing. It was like, and that was one of those brilliant LeBron moves. Now, what the thing about all that is that that we are here. We are here. That's past. That doesn't matter anymore. We're here. We're I think it's a little bit unfair to Schroeder to judge him by the post-COVID games, because he was kind of, probably he wanted to play, and the team wanted, because they needed that guy who was the third scorer, and he was one of the most people forgot that he pretty much took on the consistent scoring when AD and LeBron got injured. But then he got the COVID, protocol, and he couldn't play. And when he came back, he was clearly not the same. You could see it in his game that he was not 100%. And if you know people that had gotten COVID, that's one of the things they say. They even, weeks or months even after, not having COVID anymore, it's still dealing with the effects on their bodies. So, that is something that we need to understand. Schroeder was going through something really difficult for him to handle, not because it was difficult for Schroeder to handle. It's been difficult for everybody who had any COVID, any problem with COVID. It's And so we had to cut him some slack. And we know the Lakers at the beginning, when they were all doing fine, they were dominating the league. They were in first place. They almost didn't lose any games. And they were clearly not the same team. A lot of teams were making more shots from the paint, but they were still beating everybody up pretty much. And that's that take us to now where this team could be better. But this team doesn't need much to win a championship. Just stay healthy. So I'm not concerned if we don't get Westbrook, or we don't get the combination of Larry and DeRozan. We might get one of them. If we can get both of them, that would be awesome. But even if we keep Schroeder, because we can get Buddy Hield with Kuzma and Montrez, and we get Duarte as in the 22nd. Duarte, you know who reminds me Duarte of a little bit? What's his name? Some people told me about him reminding like prime prime Danny Green, but the guy that he reminds me is a younger Klay Thompson. If he's anything, he doesn't have to be, like Klay Thompson. But if he's somewhere in the area where he can shoot a lot of threes and do a lot of good defensive plays, impact on the defense, impact on the three-point line, we're going to be fine. We're going to be more than fine. So that's why I don't understand the all the Westbrook thing, because to get Westbrook, I don't remember. I didn't look at his contract, but matching contracts of superstars in a team that is close or hard capped already, it's really, really hard. It's really hard. Now, I trust Rob Pelinka. I don't agree with everything he's done, but he's done enough for me to trust that he's going to do what is best with what he has for the team, and that's all we can ask for him or from anybody, from him or anybody. And that's all I can say about that. I think that they are going to look for a veteran point guard. Whether it is a star or not, I don't know. They could even try to get back Rondo. I don't know. And Fizdale is going to be really interesting to see how he, because he loves the set offense that uses, that Frank Vogel uses a lot, but he's got some interesting things that he could add to that, and that's one thing we should be interesting in watching, because Fizdale will help in the areas where Vogel is not as, I don't want to say not as good, but if we have to choose a weak point, that offense is not his forte. Let's put it that way. Frank Vogel's offense is not his forte, but Fizdale actually fit in to the Vogel system and can add to the offense certain things. And that's all I have for this. To resume, I think they are trying to get a point guard. They don't know if they are gonna get a 3-point shot point guard type of player. They might get somewhere either a draft pick to get maybe another playmaker, another point guard from the draft, or even undrafted. But they are interviewing a lot of 40% 3-point shooters. So the Lakers are definitely addressing the whole thing of the 3-point shot on the side of the trades. And so that's what we are going to see. We're going to see that the Lakers are going to bring at least 3 stars, but not necessarily this third or even the 4th star are going to be a 3-point shooter. Also, before I go, I heard rumors that they are trying to bring Dwight Howard back. So if that happens, Dwight Howard, many won't consider him a star, but he is a star. He's just a star that never learned his role as a center. Not because he didn't know how to do it, but because he didn't want to do it. He's one of the best rollers in a pick and roll, and for some reason he didn't like to do that. But that's it. That's what I got. I hope you like it. I hope we can get to talk about this a little more later on. May God bless you all. Be kind to yourself and to each other. Be good to yourself and to each other. May God bless. I already said that. And let's go Lakers. Bye-bye.